Hi everyone, and welcome to TWF Friday Night Smackdown. Hi, Mike Lane with Mike Lane here with Sarah Shiver and with Wade Barrett. And today on Friday Night Smackdown, we're gonna talk about first what happened yesterday on Impact or Hit. Yesterday on Impact or Hit, we saw Asuka take on Enzo Amore and for the TWF heavyweight winnings. And Asuka beat him and kept the TWF heavyweight winnings. That is true, Sarah Shiver said. We did see that happen yesterday on Impact or Hit. However, Asuka is going into SummerSlam to fight Drew McIntyre for the TWF heavyweight winnings. And you want to know something, Wade Barrett says, if Asuka can get past Drew McIntyre at SummerSlam, who will she be fighting at Heatwave that comes later on this month too? You're right, Mike Lane said. Two Yield shows happened this month. SummerSlam, the old WWF WWE one, and Heatwave, the old ECW WWE one. Will Asuka be the heavyweight fighter after SummerSlam going in a Heatwave? Your guess is good as mine on that one, Mike Lane says. And some of those asking things, Wade Barrett says, will be answered. One way or the other, some of those asking things will be answered. By who? We don't know. And here comes Drew McIntyre coming to the ring now, Mike Lane says. And we all know how angry he is. First off, Drew McIntyre says, SummerSlam's gonna happen this Monday Night Raw or Monday Night Raw. I get my hands on the Kaiserin of tomorrow, Asuka. And then I bloody kick her head off her shoulders with my Claymore kick. And then I become the TWF heavyweight fighter for the freewheel time. And no one out there will stop me. And I know I'm going to get a deal. And I'm going to go lair to lair of Asuka. And I'm going to tell her what I think of her right now. Well, it's true that Drew McIntyre and Asuka are going to have their lawful deal written out. And so here comes Asuka now. And now she's going to come to the ring. Drew McIntyre, do you think I am flattering of you, young man? You should know something, that I hold a lot of onlook from my fellow WWE, my fellow TWF wrestlers or fighters or overstars or whatever you want to call them. But onlook only goes so far. Yes, Drew McIntyre, I did have onlook for you. Back in 2020, when COVID was fucking every land in the world up, there were only very few good things that were going on. And if you were in WWE, watching WWE, then you, as a WWE heavyweight fighter, was one of those things. Now, Drew, I don't know what happened after you lost the WWE heavyweight winnings the first time, when you won it back for the 2-whiff time. But after you lost it, you fully shifted. Started to guilt and shame everyone for why nothing in your time as a WWE wrestler or fighter or overstar didn't work out. Now, Drew, I know that you're going to get all angry and irked and say some things that later on you're going to wish you didn't say. But hear me out before you do. first off, I also happen to do that. I also happen to be doing that same thing around the same time. I won the WWE Woman Heavyweight Winnings the first time after Becky Lynch yielded it up to me due to her being with child. And yes, I did lose the WWE Woman Heavyweight Winnings to Sasha Banks, but I won it back. Then I lost it to Rhea Ripley at Wrestle Madness the next year. But unlike you, Drew McIntyre, I did not guilt and shame the world for why all of that happened. You dare to think that you being a two-time WWE Woman Heavyweight Fighter is anything like me being a two-time WWE Heavyweight Fighter. At least you became a three-time WWE Woman Heavyweight Fighter. I never became a three-time bloody WWE Heavyweight Fighter. You were a former World Heavyweight Fighter, and I lost it as fast as I won it. But I will become a three-time TWF Heavyweight Fighter, Oscar. And you will give me the onlook that I need. And there's where you're wrong again, Drew McIntyre. Onlook is not something that someone gives to you because you asked for it. Onlook is something you get from how you behave, what you say, and what you do. Alright, we both had our say. Now, each one of us can write our names down at the end on this sheet, making this match lawful. Alright, Asuka, Drew McIntyre, you two will wrestle and fight each other at SummerSlam for the TWF Heavyweight Winnings tomorrow, next Monday Night Raw or Monday Night Raw. Well, as we know, Mike Lane says, these lawful deals never end well. No, they don't, Sarah Shiver says, and I don't think this one will end well. It won't end well, Wade Barrett says. You know, these two, are going to start something. And Asuka wants to put her hands up for Drew McIntyre to shake her hand, but Drew McIntyre smacks her hand away. Now that's just sad. Asuka was willing to show Drew McIntyre some onlook before their match, and Drew McIntyre didn't want anything to do with the onlook. So there you go, Mike Lane says. He's a liar. He says he wants onlook, but he won't give anyone onlook. So he has no room to speak, Mike Lane says. Sarah Shiver said it could have gone down a lot worse, Mike. They could have had a fight. We could have seen those two start fighting before their match at SummerSlam. Yeah, Wade Barrett says, that could have happened. But luckily it didn't. But it's a letdown because almost every lawful writing in the TWF as well in WWE has always ended with someone starting a fight with someone. Wade Barrett says, take it away. My mistake. Alright, take it away now, Joey Styles. Thank you, Mike Lane and Sarah Shiver. I'm going to be talking with Asuka here today on Friday Night Smackdown. Alright, Asuka, we saw you in the ring with Drew McIntyre, and some might say that you came off lucky. Lucky have really not much to do with it, with Joey Styles. I was going to show him some onlook, but he doesn't want to show folks onlook. But that's all right, because when I have my match with him, then he will learn onlook. Well, Asuka, we do know that you do have onlook for your fellow wrestler, or your fellow fighter, or your fellow overstar, and though things didn't always go right in your calling as a skilled wrestler, you never did guilt or shame anyone over it. No, I never did. And that's a class that Drew McIntyre learned but forgot. But after I beat him, Drew McIntyre will learn what onlooking class is. He will also learn that no one is ready for Asuka. Well, that's my talk with the Kaiserin of tomorrow, the TWF heavyweight fighter Asuka. Back to you, Michael Lane and Sarah Shiver. Thank you, Joey Styles, for talking with Asuka here today on Friday Night Smackdown. And that's all the time we've got here for Friday Night Smackdown. I, Mike Lane, with Sarah Shiver and Wade Barrett, we hope you like Friday Night Smackdown, and we'll see you tomorrow for Collision or Hit.